and welcome to the first episode of Dating Log. Yay! Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Wyndham Juno. I have spent the last month reaching out to single friends and people I know from all over the world and from all different parts of my life. It turns out a lot of them are willing to share with me the nitty-gritty of their dating lives, how it's changed, what they wish they had, what they didn't like, how the world is changing. And voila, the podcast. My first guest, who was also the first available person for an interview, is someone who I met at a festival last winter in Thailand. We literally met at the top of a climbing sculpture. She's super stylish, she's a great dancer, she loves mango sticky rice. I'm pretty sure she ate 12 over the 4 days we were there. She's got a very kind soul. And without further ado, this is Flo.
I guess currently, in the dating pool of in Vancouver. I guess I go by she, hers for my pronouns. But I do also know I dress very like a tomboy, I guess you could say. So it's also very confusing for people. Because when the way I appear and then when I start talking, they're like, wait, what? But yeah, I am dating, but I'm not in the monogamous world of dating. I am open, whether it's non-monogamous. There's all these terms that as I'm meeting people, I'm learning these new terms. So
that's good. What are some of the new terms you're learning?
I think the latest one that I learned was is like relationship anarchy, or no? Have you heard of that one? Something anarchy. And I was like, talking to them. I was like, can you explain? Like, what does that mean? And they're just saying like how it's kind of like it's more on in the world of like non-monogamous, I guess. So it's like it's not you're following the traditional relationship monogamous dating world. It's more about, I guess, whatever. I guess for me, it's like whatever I would. It's putting in the way what I got out of it was putting me, taking care of me first, and then it's like the dating part of it. So that was kind of what I got out of it. I was like, okay, yeah, I agree with that. Like I agree. Like when it comes to relationships, like you should be taking care of yourself first before everything. So I don't know. They were talking about that.
Okay, and who told you about this?
Someone that I met on Hinge. Because on Hinge it has like the dating, not goals or something, like the interests or something.
Can you explain Hinge? Like, how does it work? What's the function of it? Yeah, I really have never used it. And probably a lot of listeners have not either. Or maybe they have. I don't know.
So Hinge is, I guess it's like the friend, like the way I see it, it's like it's a more, it filters out the weirdos from Tinder that you get on Hinge. But a lot of times you still see the overlaps. Don't get me wrong. But for Hinge, it's like you have X amount of likes per day, and you set what your interests are, what you're looking for, and then it's very similar to Tinder when it comes to like X as in like nope, and then the other side for like yes, you're interested. And then that's it. And then it kind of like same thing if for them. And then if you two match, then like it's a match situation. So it's very similar to Tinder in that sense. So the two are they're similar when it comes to like how to meet up or how to get connected. And then I think the only main difference is the platform of your profile. It's more interactive than Tinder. So it'll prompt you with more questions. And you have to have these questions, like to get your profile out there. It's like you have to have at least like 3 of these prompt questions to fill out. They're also interactive in the sense that they sometimes have like multiple choice. Like you can like interact as in like on our first date we're going to go, but you get to create those. You get to create the things to what you want. And then there's the photos, and the same thing with the photos if you want like those prompts. And then when you get a match, or when you are going through someone's profile, rather than just having a generic chat box situation, like you can comment on those prompts. So it gives you like a lead, like it gives you something to talk about.
I think I saw that on Bumble recently too. You can like compliment people on their answers or something.
Yeah, so it's very similar then with Bumble, I guess, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is Hinge not the one that it's like you have to connect to your Facebook and then you or can only match with friends of friends, or is that not?
Is that the Facebook dating?
It's for dating, yeah, it's for dating.
But is it like Facebook dating? Because apparently Facebook has dating. I don't know what it is yet, but Facebook has dating. Yeah, Facebook has dating.
For boomers?
I don't know. I've never explored that button.
Oh my God, I'm so curious. I think I'm going to learn about a lot of different dating apps on doing this, talking to people around the world.
Yeah.
So you do Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. Would you say that those are like the biggest dating apps in Vancouver for people around our life age?
I would say Bumble and Hinge more. I think Tinder's kind of fallen through. I think Tinder, when I have come across people on Tinder, is more like the travelers for Tinder. That's just for my observations, at least. But it's more Bumble and Hinge, and I've heard of Field. People have talked about Field. Well, there was like a queer one app. There's like one for like just queers for Vancouver, but I forget what that one was called.
Like specific to Vancouver?
No.
Her.
No. Not just Vancouver, but like I remember like a lot of the queers in Vancouver use that one. Her? Have you heard of that one?
Her's the lesbian one.
Yes.
Right? It's like let's say for women seeking women.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, gender, sex.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that one. I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember when that came out, like over 10 years ago, I was in Boston and there was nobody on it.
Right? Yeah. So.
Have you tried it?
I did try it long ago, but it wasn't a great one. I don't use it anymore. So, yeah, for me, it's just Hinge now.
I'm curious, what is your radius set to for dating?
Oh, it's in kilometers. I don't know if that. I think I have it for like 20-30 or something. So for Vancouver, that would be like, I think it's about like half an hour, 45 minutes. I think that's the drive radius for me.
That's how far you're willing to go.
For now. Well, I don't know. I don't put it too far, I guess.
How long have you been active in the Vancouver dating scene?
Good question. I think since like 2012, 2010. No, after high school. So that was 2010. So maybe like 2011, 2012. It was kind of like when I came out.
And have you been in relationships as well? Have you dated people for longer? Kind of tell me about these last 10, 11 years in the dating scene in Vancouver.
Yeah. When I first started dating, I was in a relationship.
All right, so we dove a little bit into Flo's past dating history. The important things to know are that she had 2 what you would consider more serious relationships, one of 1.5 years and one of 2.5 years, where they did move in and live together. And ultimately, she decided to be single for a while and focus on herself, which she is still doing to this day. During that time, she was able to explore non-monogamy and open relationships with both of those partners, as well as the people she dated afterwards. And this is more or less how she came to the conclusion that if she's going to be in relationships with people, they are not going to follow this normal monogamous trajectory, but instead be open or solo polyamorous.
And for me, and I have my own, so it's working out better now.
How did you come to this conclusion that you were non-monogamous? Because it sounds like you've been doing it for a long time. Like since your like first or second serious, let's call it serious. It's like longer than 6 months. You moved in at some point. How did you figure this out about yourself? And yeah, can you tell me more about it?
I'm a pretty independent person, I would say. I know a lot of people, friends, like they're very codependent on their partner, and that's what they need. And I'm like, absolutely, yes, you do need your person to be with you, and I want your person to be there because I know that's when you thrive the best. And for me, I know like if I'm going somewhere, like I thrive the best when I'm solo. Like, yeah, I don't know. At first, I thought like maybe it was like the partner that I was with that I was just kind of like, oh, like, how do I explain this? I'm gonna tell you a story.
Tell me a story.
Yeah. So our group of friends, like we have a core group of friends from high school. We would go to like a cabin, like someone's cabin, a family cabin all the time. And whenever we went, it was the best. And I would usually go when I'm like single and everyone else is bringing their partners and stuff. And then there were times where I was dating those people and then I'd be, you know what, they're going to come along too. I never enjoyed those trips as much. Like there's always something. I'm like, something always comes up and I'm just like, I enjoy my time on the island, on the cabin, when I can do my own thing and not have to, you know, think of something else or somebody else or stuff. Like, yeah, I'll do it, but it's also like, it's a different trip. And even my friends see it too. They were like, oh, we like when when she gets to do the crazy things that she does. And then there's times when there has been people there, it's kind of like, oh, like, damn it, Flora's not going to be doing this because this person's there. I'm like, that's true. So like stuff like that. So yeah, I guess it was just always my understanding growing up, like being in a serious relationship with somebody was never really something that I've thought about or, crave or wanted. Some people think this is like a bummer, but for me, it's like, it's what I grew up with was like, you're born alone, kind of like we're born, but you're always gonna die alone anyways. As in like, it's just gonna be you. It's not gonna be like you with somebody else. And so like, for me, it's like, I put myself first for everything when it comes to like what makes me happy. And so for me, it's like, I am in a way of like, eventually, like when I do grow old and then I die and stuff, it's like, I put me first of like, hey, like you want to make sure you're happy with yourself and you don't need somebody else to kind of be there to make you satisfied with your life. So that was, I don't know, that was one of the things that I had.
No, it's good. I think being able to enjoy your time alone and be independent and do your own things are so important.
Yeah.
And especially the older I get, like the more I meet someone, if they don't give independent vibes right away, I'm like, you know what? You have some self-growing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then how does like dating factor into your life? You are independent, living your best life, doing your own thing. You've got your friends groups. Why and how does this fit with you?
I mean, it's always like to have fun. I do like my physical touch, like all those things. And yeah, I would say I have a pretty high sex drive. So I think when it comes to that world of satisfaction and pleasure, I'm like, yeah, like I've definitely, that's why I would seek partner or partners, because that's what I want. And the same, I guess, for others too.
Is this more like a hookup culture or is this dating culture?
More of a hookup culture. Dating, if it were to be dating, like I also won't say like I'm never gonna be a serious dating person. Like that is still absolutely an option. If that happens, if the pieces fall and stuff, then absolutely. Like I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But like as for now, like with when I can date and stuff, then yeah, like this is more in line of what my desires and interests are. Yeah, so like for, I guess the big part would just be, yeah, like I do have like a physical side where I do like to have that fulfilled. And then when it comes to dating and stuff, like going with people to things. Like, yeah, I like going on dates. I think it's pretty, like, I still like doing activities, don't get me wrong. And it's nice to do it with somebody, yeah. And there are some things where, like, it is nice to kind of share and meet people. And, going on dates is still fun. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Can you remind me, how old are you?
30.
Have you noticed a change now that you've crossed the threshold from dating in your 20s to dating now that you're 30?
You know what the biggest change? I actually was talking about this with people. The biggest difference is when I am dating, the biggest difference that's coming into play are kids. Because now that people in their 30s, more people have kids now, like babies. And, or, like, this is just from the pool that I'm currently interacting with. But they all seem to be like moms.
Are you sleeping with moms?
Yes.
What?
Or just like the question of, like, would you date somebody that has a kid? That seems to be more of a frequent question now. Because before, it's like when you're in your 20s, kids were never a factor. Like maybe another partner, sure, but the kids were never really a factor. But as people get older, like, yeah, they're gonna have babies, or they do. And whether it's they were young and they had a kid with whoever they had, was it whatever happened, but they have a child now, or it's they have a child, they have a family, but they're also wanting to explore their sexuality, and their partner's more like, yeah, okay, go ahead. Try that out. I was like, okay.
I'm intrigued. I have yet to, like, well, that's not true. I did sleep with one mom, but to really see someone like on a dating app who is also a parent.
Yeah. I'm coming across those a little bit more. So that would be like a main difference that I'm seeing now.
Are there any other differences you notice?
I guess now being in the 30s, age is more of something that I clue into more when someone is super young. But super young now is a different age. Before, like, dating someone who's like 19, 20, 21 when I was in the 20s, sure. But now that I'm in my 30s, dating someone that's 21, we're in different life stages. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Yeah? Okay. They could be still in school. They could just be finishing up school. They could be just entering, like, the work world. Just maturity levels. Yeah, I found, like, the younger ones. And also when you think of it, when someone's 23, they're born in 2000. Right?
That's unreal.
So, I mean, like 23, like, doesn't sound like a young age, but it doesn't sound like an old age. But it's also when you think, like, okay, if you think about it, that they were born in 2000, that makes it like, okay, hold on 1 second. They're born in 2000.
Can I ask, what is your dating range set to? What ages?
Ooh, I think it's like 21, 22. Because there are some people that are so mature for their age, sure. And then I think my range for that high up is like 40, 45? 45, I think. Yeah.
How old is the oldest person you've gone on a date with?
I can guarantee the number for 36 or 37. There are people that I have, but I didn't ask them their age.
Did you meet them on an app or just out?
No, on the dance floor. So I don't know. It was like okay. Well, Also, I want to also terminology of put it in the ranks for me. Going out, seeing somebody, and dating. How would you rank them in the order of, like, seriousness?
I think for me, I would say going out is like, oh, unless we're talking like middle school going out. Like, are we talking going out like once on the dance floor or like going out? That's tricky. Those are different things.
Right? But like, and everyone has their different like. But okay, if I had to like, for me, going out is like the lowest, most casual, for me.
Just like you go out and you
Going
meet
out,
someone.
yeah, you're going out, hanging out, going out, seeing somebody and dating. Those two are like, so people always flip those two.
I think again, I think context is key here because if I say that I'm seeing someone, it implies that I'm seeing them on a regular basis and that we have established some sort of relationship. Right now, I would say I'm dating, but what I really mean is I'm dating around. I'm dating everyone who wants to go on dates with me, and I have not seen one person like more than once. It's just I'm dating. I'm in the dating pool. What about for you?
I would flip the two. So for me, like I'm seeing somebody is more just like, but for me, it's like I'm just seeing them once or twice. It's not like the, yeah. And then dating would be like, oh, I'm dating this person, is more serious, I guess, and just that's how I perceived it.
Do you talk about, well, let me ask this question first. Do you have other friends around you who are also dating slash seeing people slash going out, whatever it is?
That's another difference in the 30s in my friend group. Everyone is either in a long-term, serious, committed relationship, engaged, or married. And they're now entering the world of babies now as well. There's like two of my friends just had their babies like they're like 2 months right now. So, yeah, so my friend group, they're all in serious relationships. No one, so yeah, no one's single.
Does that make you the hot single friend?
They always like my stories. They always like to live through me. They like to hear what's going on. So, yes.
How is that for you to be the only one like in your friend group who is not doing those things? Can I also ask a follow-up side question, I guess? Are all of your friends like heteronormative?
Most are. One friend, two are, I guess, two females. They have a baby. One guy, actually, there is one guy. He is single and dating. He's bi, and then the rest, majority, I think, the other 8, I guess, are all in hetero relationships. Yeah. What was your first question again?
I asked you how it is to be like the only single one among your friends. You said they're living through you.
Oh, how do I feel about that or something? Like being like the
Yeah,
only
like
single?
how does it make you feel to be like the single one in that group?
I don't really realize it. Like, I mean, I think it's fun. I'm enjoying the time. So do I feel pressured to, settle down and stuff? No. Yeah, and I think they all like see it the same way too, because they understand like they've all seen my relationships, they've seen me, the highs and lows, and they know where I am now in my life and my career and stuff. So, like I'm enjoying life right now. Yeah. I like the no strings attached. I'm going somewhere. I have the freedom. I don't have to think about or worry about or check in with somebody all the time. It's like, no, I can just, for me, I like to just fall off the grid and just boom, bye.
I guess I'm still trying to figure out from my own mental gymnastics how many people you're dating. But if I asked you, who are you dating right now, what would you say?
See, that's what's weird. So when you say dating, that's my term. I don't say it dating because dating is high up there. Who am I like hanging out, I guess? Right now there's 2 people, but it's the different part is that, you know how I said they travel? Right now it's like someone's down in like the States with their partner situation, but I'm like, we're still in touch, but like they're in the background right now versus when someone's in Vancouver or like in the city, they're in the more in the foreground. I guess like ebbs and flows, like, so I don't know if that answers your question. Like, Who am I seeing? Like, how many people am I seeing? 2, 3? I don't know. It'll be different next month, like in May. Like, I have people coming up, like someone coming up from like California. So it's like, and so that's somebody else. So it's like, it's hard to give it a number.
Okay, let me ask you, what do you find the most enjoyable about seeing people, hanging out with people in a more than friendship way, let's say? Can we define it like that?
I mean, the conversations are always interesting because as we get older, we're more open with what we like and what we don't like and everything. So I guess like, the conversations are always fun, but it's always like the activities of whatever we're doing. Whether it's like playing tour guide in the city again and kind of exploring things and just being able to have like funny conversations, being really free flowing. And I guess for me, a big part is like I smoke a lot of weed. And so that's a big part. Like, I don't know, like for me, it's, people will go out for drinks and stuff, right? Like socialize to go out for a drink. But for me, I don't drink. But I smoke a lot of weed. And so when that happens, when we go on these smoke walks and we end up at places, it's just kind of, I get very adventurous and outgoing when these dates happen. So honestly, I don't know what happens. But it's usually a good time.
So the fun and the spontaneity.
Yeah.
And I love how you just called it a smoke walk. I have never once thought to invite someone for a smoke walk.
Oh, I love smoke walks. It's a super simple thing, but when you're on a smoke walk, everything is elevated. And you just get more appreciative of where you are. And if they're, down with it too, like they also see it too. And sometimes they're like, damn, like they see things differently a little bit when you slow it down and you kind of, I don't know. I'm very appreciative when I go on things, so.
I like that. Okay, what do you find the most challenging about dating?
I guess when it comes to the world of the dating apps, the challenging part is that commitment to actually meet up. Yeah, I guess it's like trying to suss out like, hey, is this actually going to be, like, are we actually going to find a time to hang out, meet up? Scheduling is always different. I feel like there is a window. There's a time like a time frame when you are on these dating apps. Sometimes that conversation, if it's like, okay, you meet, you connect, you figure out a time, like a date or something, that's awesome. But if it's too long, it's too much, no sustenance conversation, it's just gonna fizzle out. And if you don't have that time to go in and actually meet up, then that's difficult. And I guess for me, it'd just be like scheduling wise, right? And a side one is, now that I've learned, is when it comes to the world of moms and kids, is there's a babysitter now that has to come into play. There's a third person, right? You can't just leave. And for me, I'm a very spontaneous person. I'm like, hey, let's meet up. Boom, boom, boom. No, I can't anymore because it's like, oh, there's a third person that I have to think about on the background, which is the babysitter.
That sounds like a challenge to me. Can I ask, when is your next date? Do you call them dates if you're not dating them?
Yeah, I'd say it's more of a hangout. I'm a very casual person when it comes to that. It's more of a hangout. It's supposed to be tomorrow, kind of, but I kind of have other plans that I would rather do. Right now, like in Vancouver, it's getting sunnier now. It's beach season. For me, on all of my days off, I go down to this beach, Wreck Beach. It's a nude beach. It's a great place. It's just a really fun beach. Like Wreck Beach is like my happy place. And the sun's out this weekend, and it's gonna be like everyone's gonna be coming back down to the beach after a winter season, and so that's my plan for tomorrow. And if she wants to come over whenever she can, because usually I think she has to wait till the baby goes, or till the kid goes down, like goes to sleep before she can come out. Yeah. So it's out there. I said where I'll be if she wants to come join me. Absolutely. If not, yeah, I'll be down on the beach. So that's the plan, that they said they want to come over, but I'm like, if you want to, sure. If not, no.
Do you have any advice or words of wisdom you want to leave listeners with about dating? or seeing people / hanging out? A philosophy. Do you have like a dating philosophy or approach?
I don't have a dating philosophy, but I do have a question, like a big question I like asking people. Okay, it's a hypothetical. Right now in your life, for $2 million, okay? Right now, for 365 days, you ghost everybody in your life. You are off the grid. You cannot connect to anybody in your life for 365 days. No contact, no communication, nothing left behind. You're just gone. You could go off into the jungle, into your own happy world. You are still fine, but you just cannot contact anybody. But when you come back, you get that $2 million and you can share everything. Like, you can tell them, like, by the way, like, I'm sorry, I'm fine. I was gone for a year, but I had to do it for $2 million. Would you do it?
Like, right now, just pick up and leave and ghost. They'd probably think I was dead. I don't know, though.
Yeah? If that's the
I
case,
don't
so
know.
you wouldn't do it?
The problem with me is I'm not so driven by money. I like my friends. I like my life.
Yeah. So you wouldn't do it?
I don't think so. I would be worried, like, my grandma would have a heart attack and then she would die and then I'd miss the funeral. And, like, people would be pretty pissed if I just up and ghosted and left all my shit everywhere. Would you do it?
Yeah. When I was asked that question, right away I was like, yes. Because, like,
This is true independence.
yeah. I'll be like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's a year. It can be a while, but like, it's a year and you come back and like, during that year, like, you're fine. And yes, you might have, your parents might worry, grandma might worry. I don't know. For me, I guess my independence in life so far is pretty independent that they'll probably like, oh, she's probably off doing something. She'll be back.
I'm going to ask that one from now on.
It's a good one because it shares a lot, I guess. Like, I don't know if you are dating someone that is dating somebody else, I don't know, it might be a different situation, right? Because a lot of times, like, it's their partners that they like. It's their partner that is their, you know, who they worry about the most. But for me, no.
It's like a character question, but phrased as like a game show or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, dating advice, I don't know. Be open, be fun, be spontaneous. That's my thing.
All right, that was episode 1. If you liked it, please metaphorically swipe right or super like, say yes, that is, subscribe wherever you listen. We'll be back in a couple weeks with episode 2. In the meantime, tell your friends, keep going on dates, keep sharing your stories, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here next time. Dating Log is recorded and hosted by me, Wyndham Juno. It is produced by Harry Dark. You can follow us on Instagram at Dating Log Podcast. Our website is datinglogpodcast.com. And if you have any feedback or perhaps know someone who I should interview, please go ahead and send me an email at datinglogpodcast@gmail.com. Lastly, smash that subscribe button wherever you listen, and please don't ghost us.